Okay, we are live right now, which is great. I was having some technical difficulties. Thank you guys for bearing with me there. I got a new computer since the last Too Many Records live stream, and for some reason I'm having some issues with my settings. I don't know if it is going to look blurry or if it's going to sound weird. If there's any major issues, please let me know in the comments. But hopefully we can just have a nice little classic unboxing and chat. It can be about records. It can be about my new quarantine hair, which is pretty ridiculous. But yeah, let me. Hopefully this is working out well. Hope you guys are all doing well. It's always fun to do a live stream. It's more fun when it works from the get-go. But yeah, as long as this sounds and looks decent, we're good. All right, so. Let's just get started. As you guys know, this is the famous Too Many Records. This is the famous Too Many Records box cutter, and for once we have a nice little stack of records to go through. So I'm going to be going through these in a minute. Maybe we should start with some not unboxing stuff. We could start with some records I've gotten in recently that I'm excited about. So let's start off with this one right here. This is a record that I picked up recently. I fell in love with this release. I can't recommend this enough. This is Symphonic by Thievery Corporation. So basically, Thievery Corporation is an awesome trip-hop band. They sometimes move into dub a little bit, but oftentimes it's trip-hop, but sometimes they have a little bossa nova influence. But this record is Thievery Corporation doing a live show with a full symphony behind them practically, and it is such an amazing performance, and every single track on this is absolutely a step above the normal versions on their records. It sounds great. I mean, through my setup, I was listening through headphones, and it sounds like I was at the show. But if you guys haven't ever heard of Thievery Corporation or need a good place to start, Symphonic is definitely, I can't recommend this enough. I'm a fan of this band, but I was absolutely blown to bits by this release. So check it out. What else we got? I finally picked up Rae Jepsen's Dedicated. And this is the limited version. I did not buy it from Urban Outfitters because, as you guys know, they would not have let me buy it. I found it on Discogs, but it is the purple variant. As you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Rae Jepsen. I think she's one of the best pop musicians possibly ever. I recently also, it hasn't come in yet, but I got the B-sides by Carly that she signed, so that's really cool. But yeah, I mean, she's just a queen. We stand Rae. For sure. And then this one I just wanted to show off. This one I might get a little flack for. This is for me when Linkin Park, the final album before Linkin Park kind of jumped the ship for me. Jumped the shark, jumped ship. I think I just mixed up two iconic phrases. But this is Minutes to Midnight, and I've been wanting to grab this for a while. Sometimes the price jumps up like crazy online for this. I don't know if it's in print or not, but I managed to find it for retail on Discogs. Got lucky. This is a little poppier than Meteora and Hybrid Theory, but it still maintains some of that catchy songwriting, thankfully. Some of their bigger songs are on here. Bleed It Out, Shadow of the Day, What I've Done. But some of their really good songs that they don't really talk about as often. I really love The Little Things Give You Away. I think that the first side of this is amazing. The second side has a couple weaker tracks, but it ends on an amazing note. Huge fan of the early stages of this band, and yeah, it sounds pretty good. It's a good pressing. There are the boys. Rest in peace, Chester. But yeah, so that's. And now let's open up some records, shall we? Why don't we open up some records? All right, let's see what we got. Hey, Miles is here. Miles has been asking me for a live stream for a while, so hope that you're enjoying this, Miles. Oh no, some people are saying that there are technical difficulties. I hope not. Only 2 people thus far, so I'm going to assume it's a fluke until proven otherwise. All right. Maybe 3? Uh-oh. Is everything okay with the chat, guys? Are we good? Am I able to keep going? Am I able to open up this record? Am I? Someone want to tell me? Oh man, everyone's saying there's problems now. What the heck? Okay, I hope that there's no issues moving forward, but let's just keep going and see what happens. So this is cool. This right here is a band called Anamanaguchi. They specialize in electronic and chiptune style music, very melodic, very catchy, and Anamanaguchi had their first album, Dawn Metropolis, and it's incredibly hard to find. It's out of print. It is definitely a grail for a lot of fans of electronic chiptune style music. And recently they found a box of a 7-inch that has 2 tracks from that era. And they're signed to Polyvinyl now, so Polyvinyl printed up some sleeves for it. And now they sold it on their web store. And the original version of this they sold, I think, on the tour for that. Goes for a lot of money. So I don't know if it's still in stock, but if you like Anamanaguchi and you don't know that they have this 7-inch for sale, definitely give it a shot. Let's see, what else we got? Hi everyone. Hey Joey. All right, so let's keep going. We got more to open. It's been a while since I opened. I feel like when I did my massive unboxing when I moved to New York, when I unboxed like 70 records, I think that kind of took it out of me. I think I needed a big break from unboxing because that was such a trying, chaotic experience. But I think we can try to do these a little more often, best we can. So this right here, I am very, very, very excited for. This was something I was able to get by being right place, right time. This is a lathe cut record, and it's not a fully cut out. Sometimes lathe cut records have this square on the outside. As you guys can see, there's only grooves on where the 7-inch would have been. But this is an uncut square 7-inch by Kishibashi, who is an artist I've been talking about since the Damn It Sandy days. This is something that they did to raise some money during all the COVID crisis. Basically, Kishibashi from home played all of his debut album 151A, and every single song they cut from that live performance on a lathe cut. So if you guys follow the label Joyful Noise, they tend to do a lot of interesting lathe cut projects, and this one is my favorite song from the album, my favorite song he does, and one of my favorite songs of all time. I would say I would put this safely in the top 20 of all time. This is called Manchester, and this is the live performance, and you can see it's numbered on the bottom. I have number 88 of 100. Just having I have another live version of him doing Manchester on a different record, but this is just specific to this performance. They did every single track on the album, which is really cool. You can see this little checkbox that shows basically what is what. And Manchester, if you do not know Kishibashi, that is an amazing track to get started with because it'll blow you away with the majesty and the beauty of it, and you will realize that Kishibashi is a true gem, that we are lucky to be able to appreciate his music. So I'm happy I got that in time because I remember I snagged that specific track, and I went back to the site and it was sold out. So I was fast enough. But yeah, Manchester is easily one of the most beautiful tracks. It's so overwhelming. Just the grandeur of the lyrical content and just the instrumentation of it. The composition is terrific. All right, what else do we have here? Let's see. Guys, no more Karate Kid jokes. I don't know karate. I don't know how to do karate. So, be nice to me. I would like to get a haircut very much, but there's no barbers open in New York City right now, so you get the band boy. I can do this, though, like a cool 90s character. You know what I mean? Like I'm like Sean Hunter from Boy Meets World, just kind of doing one of these kind of things, which is kind of cool, I suppose. All right, next record. Ooh, reflective. Very shiny. Shiny sleeve. This is Madeon, Good Faith. So Madeon is a really good electronic pop, producer. His first record, Adventure, is extremely hard to find. I'm looking for it. I do not own it. But he's good friends with Porter Robinson. The two of them have done a song together called Shelter, and this is Madion's second album. I actually was waiting to get the record in to listen to this. I've heard mixed reviews on it, but I have some people I trust that say they really love it. It's just really good production. His compositions are very unique, and it doesn't sound like anything else out there, which is what I like about it. That's kind of what I like about Porter Robinson, too. Technically, it's pop music, but there's a lot of emo influence and things of that nature. So, Madion's Good Faith, I just love how reflective this sleeve is. This is one of the coolest record sleeves I own, without a doubt. So glad to have this. Let's keep this train rolling, shall we? I've gotten Danielson, I've gotten Leonardo, I've gotten how many other things? Rambo. Oh my gosh. Don't forget, guys, if you are so inclined, please feel free to leave me a super chat. That means I stop what I'm doing and answer whatever question you may have, music related. So please feel free to do that if you have the means to. Otherwise, let's just keep talking music, shall we? All right, what do we have next? This is a cool one. So this is going to appeal to some of you guys, I'm sure. I have been waiting for a good repress of this for a fair price, and finally we were given one. This is Fish. This is Fish's debut album, Junta. Junta is the first. I don't think they had any physical release prior to this. I could be wrong. I am not the Fish head. If you guys remember in my old videos, sometimes I would do it in my kitchen in LA, and my roommate was obsessed with Fish. He's been to over 100 shows. He knows everything about Fish. He got me into Fish, and I will say I'm not a deep dive fan. I love Billy Breathes. I love The Story of the Ghost, and I love Junta. I think this album is delightfully joyful and weird. I really love You Enjoy Myself, the 9-minute 50 song that ends side A. And this is a really cool repress because it's cut from Bernie Grundman, who is one of the best in the biz, from the original master reels. And it's a 3-disc black and white splatter. And it was pretty reasonable. I think it was under $40. And in this day and age, with how record prices are just jumping up like crazy, a 3-disc colored vinyl mastered by or cut by Bernie Grundman that's an absolute steal, especially since original pressings of this go for, I think, over $100 each. So Fish, if you want a good introduction, I don't know if this is the best introduction to Fish, but I will say it is a great album. I would say if you want to try to give their sound a shot, Billy Breathes is the best collection of songs that they've done front to back. But Junta's cool too. All right, we got 3 more over here, and then we'll just do a little chat, little music chat. See what you guys are up to. Let's see. It's been a minute since I've opened stuff on camera. I have to remember how to be quick about it. All right, let's keep going. This is cool. This is something I'm excited about. This is a little more obscure, but hopefully you guys will be into it. This is an album called Summer Death by a band called Marietta. Marietta is a really good emo rock, lo-fi emo rock. I don't know how to really compare it. Maybe you can compare it to like Moose Blood, kind of a little bit like American Football. Awesome, underrated emo band. But not emo like screaming like pop punk like Fall Out Boy, like not like that. I'm not saying Fall Out Boy screamo, but they have like these really theatrical vocals. This is more kind of harmonies and lo-fi. Really nice album. It was out of print for quite a long time. And this was the repress of this album. So this is a really awesome, I think they remastered it. And I wanted to get it because the variant is just so... Look how well this matches the cover. Like, how do I hold this properly? Here we go. Look at this. This is like one of the most perfect cover to variant matches I've ever seen. This would be a good thumbnail. If I didn't already have one. But yeah, this is... It sounds great. It looks great. And if you guys like emo-ish music, Marietta is one of those unsung heroes that I think deserves a lot more credit than they have. Adrian, you're asking when Amoeba will be reopening. They're reopening again in Hollywood, a few blocks away, and the date of the reopening is TBD. I don't think anyone truly knows when, but I'm sure if you follow this channel, which you do, I will be talking about any news regarding Amoeba that I have as soon as I do. So that's cool. All right, what do we got here? Oh, we got a Ripper, folks. Can he do it in one? Can he do it in one? Classic. That's a classic Matt move. That is a, yeah, for the amount of these that I've opened in my life, you think I would just be unbelievably good, and every time I manage to miss the mark. But maybe that's just charming. Maybe that's just something that makes this channel special, is my inability to open up these mighty mailers with any level of success. But let's see, what do we got here? So this one is awesome. Awesome and sad, but awesome. So there's an album that I love that is one of the rarest records in my collection. There is some contention as to whether or not the original record is a official promo or if it's a bootleg. I am leaning towards promo just because it is in a promo sleeve. It has the labels that match the labels other releases. There would be more effort put into the art, I feel like, if it were an actual bootleg, but those of us that know about that record know whether or not, we know that it goes back and forth in the community. I believe that it's an official promo, and it goes for $400 to $1,000, depending on who's crazy enough to buy it. However, it recently got as many hip-hop albums. Oh no, there's an echo? I hope not. I'm not sure what would cause the echo. Nothing has changed. Okay, everyone's saying echo. Tell me if it's better. Damn it, YouTube. Why you gotta screw me like this? Hold on. Testing. Is this any better? Has this fixed itself? Man, I don't know what could be causing this. This just happened out of nowhere. Anyone knows what happened? I literally haven't clicked anything, so I don't know what could be the problem. Come on, world. Just everything goes wrong these days. Like, why can't there be anything that just is easy? You know? I guess I can unplug the mic and plug it back in. Let me see if that does anything. Hold on. If that sounds better. The vinyl god speaking from the heavens. Is this fixed at all? This is what's exciting about a live show. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. Is it really better? Okay, I just unplugged and replugged. That's super bizarre. Okay, thank you guys. Let's keep going. I don't know if you guys even heard during my epic speech that was leading up to this record. I don't know if you guys need me to re-say it. Long story short, TLDR, if it was too echoey, I have a record that's extremely rare. It's been out of print for a long time. People don't know if it's a bootleg or an official. It recently got its first ever bootleg actual bootleg repress. Without further ado, this is Kanye West's Late Orchestration. I am a little sad because I feel like my original copy has been slightly devalued, but I am also simultaneously very excited that more people can own this on vinyl, because this is one of my favorite live performances ever. It's Kanye doing selections from his first 2 records live with an orchestra. He's really rapping hard. He's really giving it his all, and he has something to prove at this point in his career, and you can really tell. Shout out to Rolling Records, rollingrex.com. They stock a ton of bootlegs, and I've had a bunch of good ones come in the past couple months. This is one of the ones I was really excited about. What's cool about this is that, unlike the promo version I have, it has the full art. This is just kind of on a sticker on the promo, and then on the back it has a picture of him from the performance, which is cool. And it's on yellow vinyl. It's 2 discs. So this is definitely going to become my play copy. Hopefully it sounds as good or close to as good as my official. But yeah, so I hope that it sounds good. I've heard good things. I heard the snippet of it on Rolling Rex Instagram. So yeah, Late Orchestration. Now you can own it without spending $500. And finally, Daniel San says, all right, we got one more to open. I feel like we're missing Frank, Mike, and Ryan for the super chats, but that's okay. They're here in spirit. And we're jumping back to the 70s real quick for another possibly bootleg record. Looking at the cover, I feel like it very well... Oh, it's probably a bootleg. This seems like a bootleg just from the get-go. Anyway, this is an album I talk about a lot. This is Pink Floyd Animals. I tend to have a lot of the versions of Animals up on my want list on Discogs. Some of the more unique variants, like the bootleg picture disc and things like that. And this is I'm assuming a bootleg, and I'll tell you why. It's because on the spine, I don't know if you can see it, it says Pink Floyd Animals with no space between Floyd and Animals, which is kind of funny. The picture itself is a little more washed out than my original press. Everything about the print quality seems a bit low, but I was excited to see what this record looked like because the variant was beautiful. Oh, what's interesting is that if it's a bootleg, it does have a poly-lined inner sleeve, which is pretty cool. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's not as cool as I thought it would be, but it's not bad. It's this kind of blue sky with cloudy clear. I thought it would match the kind of smoggy sky of the cover quite nicely. I'm excited to hear it and hear how it sounds. I think someone told me it is a Japanese bootleg or a French bootleg. I'm not sure which one. But it says from Japan. It says it was made in Japan. So it's some kind of either obscure Japanese pressing, there's no obi strip, or a Japanese bootleg. But I think it's cool to own this record on this color. I have so many versions of this. I have the pink promo. I have an obi strip Japanese version. I have the remaster. I have an original. But you can never really have too many copies of Animals. It is just one of those records that is timeless, and I think everybody should own. It's just some of the best guitar work and songwriting in history. Yeah, interesting. Just like the one disc in there. But yeah, Pink Floyd Animals. Cool. All right, so that was the unboxing. Not as epic as some of the ones in the past, I would say, but that being said, I'm happy to kind of chat music with you guys for a while if you have any questions or thoughts, or if you want to come up with more nicknames for me now that I have this headband. I'm your man. It's a loud sip. Am I a moody blues fan? Yeah. I am not a massive fan. I mean, some of their early songs, I really enjoy. I mean, I grew up listening to Knights in White Satin, and Was it Tuesday Afternoon? Is that what the song's called? Oh! Wolfsbane with the super chat. Thank you, Naruto. Every time a new nickname comes out, I'm very excited. I am Naruto. I am also Son Gohan. On a serious note, was I able to figure out the scam situation with PayPal? I was. PayPal helped me out. I'm going to be filming a short video to put out, I think, on Monday about the situation, just to warn people about this scam. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I posted this in my Too Many Records Facebook group, which if you guys have Facebook, you should join. There's 2,600 people. We talk about vinyl every day. It's really awesome. It's one of my favorite things that I've built with this community. And definitely check it out. But yes, I recently got scammed via a Discog seller, and it did not end the way that it normally does. But I do have a warning for everyone. So hopefully the video I do on Monday will warn some of you guys. I do have a couple good videos coming up in the next few weeks that I'm really looking forward to. We're doing a discography and box set review of Ozzy Osbourne. I have an interesting video about custom vinyl records. What else do I have? I think you'll have to see. But there's some good stuff coming your way. Noah says, Phoebe Friday. Yes, Phoebe Bridgers Friday. I cannot wait to hear this record. I have no doubt it'll be in my top 5 of the year. Even though it's already been a pretty great year, Phoebe's just like chef's kiss. Michael says, you really want a Toothpaste Suburb badly on vinyl. Do I think any of us will ever own it? It's going to have to pop up, and I'm going to have to get lucky. At this point, I would probably pay like $200 for it, but last time it popped up, it was $350, and I don't think I can stomach that. I don't think he's ever going to repress it. I feel like there are some weird issues with the label with that album in particular. I don't know though. Hey Travis, you're a little late to the Karate Kid jokes. Have I been enjoying many live stream concerts? Not really. When this whole thing first started, I was really enjoying seeing Lights do some acoustic shows on Instagram. I saw Phoebe do hers, but not really. The live stream shows aren't really that exciting. I feel like it's just like it makes me sadder that I can't go to a real concert. I appreciate what they're doing, and it's a nice way to like for them to feel productive and creative. But for me, it's just kind of underwhelming. Have I heard of an 80s rock band called Dogs d'Amour? No, I have not. Do I have any Mac Miller records? I don't. I like Mac Miller, but I do not love Mac Miller. I was never into his music much before he passed away, and I'm not trying to like jump on the bandwagon now just because he's unfortunately not with us. I have a lot of friends that love his music, but for me, I've just never really been a huge fan. I did see him live once, and he was an awesome performer. I didn't know the songs, though, so it was kind of like a little underwhelming. Do I use surge protection, like a strip for my amp? Yeah, my stuff is plugged into a surge protector. Definitely. Brett says, I watched the 45s video and I need that Biggie Tupac freestyle. Yeah, dude, that is the best freestyle of all time. Fat Beats just repressed it. So there's a repress. I don't know if it's still in stock, but it was a couple weeks ago, so you might want to check it out and see if they still have it. But now that there's a repress, I'm sure it won't be too hard to get one or the other. How do I feel about the most successful TMR pressing to date? I think it's tied with Fort Vine right now, give or take. I think Fort Vine made it to like 360. Hold on, let me see. If you guys aren't familiar as I look this up, Too Many Records, my channel, the one you are literally watching as we speak, I started a record label, and we have 6 records that we've put out. The first 5 are completely sold out. Oh, wow. Yeah. And we are currently funding the next one right now. I'll put a link in the chat if you don't know about it. It is Sean Kemp and Super Sorta Human. Sean Kemp is Lil Ugly Mane. It is their tape Supersonic. And it is currently at 387. We are trying to hit 100 copies, and we have almost done 4 times that. Only 6 days left, and then it is officially out of print and in production. I guess it can't be out of print if it hasn't been printed yet, but there's no way to order it, and there won't be a repress Really excited. I'm stoked that you guys supported the project. I'm stoked that Little Ugly Mane and Super Sorta Human were down to do this. And yeah, it's humbling to see you guys support every project I put out when it comes to the label. And I hope that there'll be more good stuff down the road. I will say this now, and I'm not guaranteeing it, but I'm gonna say almost positively. I am going to be going solo on my next record endeavor. I'm going to try to change it up a little bit, possibly do a pre-order for it with some interesting versions, maybe work with my buddy at Romanus Records, Chris, maybe work with Richard Houghton, maybe work with Wax Mage, I'm not sure, but the next record is going to be one that everyone's going to be excited for, and I want to kind of go on my own and see if I can do it without the assistance of crates. So look forward to that this fall, or maybe a little earlier if all the stars align. Thinking of bootlegs, do I have any Neil Young? I don't have any Neil Young bootlegs. Hi, Daniel. Do I have any Orbital records? You know, I've never really listened to Orbital very much. I feel like I would like it, though, based on artists that are similar. Any love for the Fontaines DC? I'm not super familiar. Do I have Love Nostalgia, and am I willing to sell it? I'm not sure if I know what Love Nostalgia is. Oh! Nick with the super chat. Thank you, Nick. Thoughts on Run the Jewels 4 after listening to it more? I have only heard it twice through. I really, really enjoy it. There are some cuts on there that definitely stand up with the best of the best they've ever put out. I will say the whole record feels a little similar. The production is great, but it doesn't really I feel like the production on 1 and 2 were more diverse, and I feel like this one, I don't know. Maybe that's an ignorant statement. I really enjoyed Run the Jewels 4. It's definitely better than 3 for me. I just don't think it touches 1 and 2. I don't think it has the same replayability for me yet. But I will say Walk in the Snow is just an unbelievable track. I wish the Zach verse was a little stronger. Do I have Saba's Care for Me on vinyl? You know, I don't have it. I have Bucket List Project, which is, of the two, my favorite by far. I think Care for Me is a great record. If I got a repress, I'd get it in a heartbeat. But Bucket List Project for me is just that is one of the best hip-hop records of the past 10 years. Just absolutely excellent. Eddie, you finally got TMR4 today. Nice! Awesome. TMR4, Nacho Picasso, and Blue Sky Black Death, Exalted. Nacho was so excited about how it turned out. He actually sold a copy on his web store that was signed and numbered, but it was more expensive than mine. And he wants to press the other records. He's like, let's press the other two. He's like, this was so cool. So maybe in 2021 we might see some other Nacho records on the label. Maybe we'll do the other two big ones with Blue Sky Black Death, and maybe I'll make a custom box, and we'll do a box set. I don't know. Big thoughts. Last of Us 2 is in 6 days. Yes! One of my best friends who I live with and I are huge fans of the first game. We both went halvesies on it. So we will be playing Last of Us 2 for sure on release. Very excited. What I'm more excited for is apparently today they're announcing that Persona 4 is coming to Steam. And I'm a huge RPG fan, and I just played Persona 5 Royal, and it was one of the best games I've ever played. So I'm hoping that the rumor is true, because I've never played Persona 4, and I would like to now, because I'm very much into that world. So, yeah. First time you saw Pearl Jam, early 90s in a tiny club, 150 people. That is an experience I will never have. I'm very jealous. I'm sure that that set was incredible. I wish I could have seen crazy early 20s Eddie just climbing rafters and screaming. But seeing them in 2018, 6 rows from the stage at the Pit in Seattle was pretty epic in its own right. Back in the 90s, I'm sure they weren't playing 3.5-hour shows, but they sure did in Seattle. Do I have The Last of Us 2 7-inch? I do not. I am waiting for just a full pressing of the soundtrack, and I'll probably jump on that. I do have The Last of Us 1 box set, though. I mean, Gustavo Santanella, is that how you pronounce his name? He is an amazing composer. Truly good. Love Nostalgia by Dreamer Boy was a VMP pressing. Okay, no, I haven't heard of it. I should go listen, though. Although maybe I shouldn't, because you're saying it's hard to find, and I feel like I'm then going to try to look for it. How do I feel about Blonde's resale value? I feel mad about it because I don't own it. And I love that record, and I fell in love with it too late. Of course, I heard it when it was on sale, but you guys, I've told this story a million times. I passed on it on Black Friday, which was the biggest mistake I could have made as a record collector. It shocks me that the value of Blonde continues to go up. There must be 4,000 copies that exist. I can't believe it sells regularly for 400 plus. Man, I don't understand. I don't think it's ever going to repress. I think I just got to get lucky to find someone who's willing to sell me a copy for $200 because I'm the guy who does too many records and they want to be nice, or just get lucky and hopefully find it on Discogs for cheap. You saw Rage Against the Machine in a small opera house. Oh, that's cool. I would have loved that. What do I do for a living? I work in marketing. I know it seems like I just make a ton of money. I don't. I just, I'm not great with the money I do make. I mean, people see me getting a ton of records, and I do get records sent to me as well. So it is not all just blind purchases. And sometimes you have to sell records in your collection that maybe you don't listen to anymore that jumped up in price. It's not all just a full speed ahead project, but I think the answer is more leaning towards, I am not as frugal as I should be, and less I am just independently extremely wealthy. Have I listened to Moses Sumney or Perfume Genius? Yes, both of them. I like both of them a lot. I don't own any of their records. That's a lie. I own the Moses Sumney record that VMP did, but I don't have any Perfume Genius, but I like their stuff. How has my mental health been doing in quarantine lately? Thank you for asking. It's tough. Quarantine has been extremely difficult. I feel like it's ironic because this is the time where I would have so much time to do content for too many records, and it's just hard to find the motivation to do more than the one video a week. But like I told you guys in the Facebook group, I am starting the outline for a vinyl record book that I want to write. So hopefully that kind of sparks motivation and I can get started on that in a real way soon. I think that would be really fun. I think people would really like it. I think I would do it. I was an English major. I think I'm pretty good with words, and I think I could write something pretty compelling. David Crosby's record, Here If You Listen. Yes, I do own that. I feel like that is a sleeper record of the past few years. It is beautiful. The harmonies he does with the women on the record are stunning. It feels like a Copeland record or something, just like lush, City in Color or something like that. I really, really enjoyed that album. Hey, Ryan. What's up, man? Finally made it. I've inspired you to start a record collection and you wanted to film a video of your collection. Any tips on how to do it? Yeah, I mean, the only tips I can think of are lighting and sound are important, so try to not do it in a dark cave-like room. That's always been my struggle. I try to keep the light out of my room for the sake of the records. Audio is important. Even if you don't have a mic, try to record your audio into your iPhone and use that rather than like a camera built-in audio. The iPhone is a pretty damn good mic. And try not to ramble too much. Definitely edit yourself. I mean, I don't know what I'm saying because there are some videos coming out in the VC that are just people sitting there for 20 minutes talking, no cuts, and they're doing much better than the videos I put out. So I don't really know the rhyme or reason as to what resonates with people. I guess just put something on and see how people respond to it. How much should I buy the late orchestration bootleg? I think it was $39.99 for 2 discs of an album that usually goes for $500. It's probably a decent deal. Yeah, quarantine in New York City is brutal for sure. we go outside and there's tons of people walking around, no masks, not taking it seriously. I miss going to concerts. I miss record shopping. I miss going to restaurants. I miss hanging out with friends outside. It's tough. Quarantine is tough for everyone. I've really spent a lot of time diving into the records, playing video games, trying to, take time for myself during this. But I'm hoping that there's an end in sight. Thank God I'm not into rare 60s soul. Yeah, I feel like my 40s is when I'll get into rare 60s soul, I think every era has its own time. Not there yet. Single most expensive record I've ever bought. I think it was the Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross compilation orchestral, or no, what is it called? It's Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross arrangement album. It's arrangements of music from both those games. Those games are hugely important to my life. The record is very, very rare. I think I spent $300 on it. Yeah, it's a terrific album. Where do I frame my music posters? I've been getting so deep into screen prints, it's almost becoming a new addiction, like records. There's ways to get custom screen prints. I got this Kanye one, framed at framebridge.com. They did a great job. A little more expensive than getting a frame at, let's say, Michael's, which these are from Michael's. I feel like one day some of these I want to get custom framed with really cool mats to really make the pictures pop. But for now, a good frame at Michael's will, wait for like a buy one get one kind of or like a discounted deal. They usually have deals running multiple times a week. All right, what are we at? 41. All right, maybe we'll do another 5 minutes or so and then we'll call it. $39.99, is that too much for a bootleg? I mean, that's for you to decide. I feel like bootlegs, there's no real rhyme or reason as to what the charge should be. What was the last concert I went to before quarantine started? It's a good question. I honestly don't even remember. It might have been like my friends performing at Rockwood Music Hall. I don't remember. I have not heard the new Mount Joy album. If I can get any record on my want list right now for free, but only one, which would I get? It would be, obviously, the super unknown Soundgarden 320 German pressing, because that one never pops up, and Blonde does pop up, but Blonde is definitely up there. Yeah, I think it would be the super unknown 320. Isaiah, you watched my video about Kanye West records and you subbed as soon as I mentioned 808s. Hell yeah, that's my favorite. It's the best. That's in my top 5 albums of all time. 808s is an absolute masterpiece. Have you ever heard a Danish band called Girls in Airports? No, but minimal ambient jazz sounds pretty nice. You have an Audio Technica LP120 with active speakers. Would your sound improve much if you had an amp or receiver? It entirely depends on what the receiver is. I would say yes. But you can't just get any receiver. It has to be obviously something that's compatible to your system and provides an upgrade based on the mechanics. I am not as much of a gear guy as I am a music guy, so if you want to ask that question in my Too Many Records Facebook group, I'm sure there will be people that can answer it much better than I can. Best series that I've watched in quarantine. Dave. I thought Dave on Hulu was unbelievably good. I'm not even a big Lil Dicky fan, even though now I guess I am. Dave is some of the sharpest writing and best comedy I've seen in quite some time. Am I going to do a Run the Jewels 4 review video? Probably not. I thought about it, but I had some other stuff coming out the same day, and I just kind of lost the thread. What has impacted the sound quality of my records the most? That's a good question. I don't think it's my speakers. I don't know if it's the receiver. I feel like it's probably my stylus. I'm guessing the cartridge from my Clearaudio Concept is probably the biggest upgrade. The Marantz is great too, and I recently got an alternate phono stage, which I'll be doing a video about in a few months when I spend more time with it, and that has actually made headphone listening in particular really, really, really rich. So I'll be talking about that when I have more thoughts on it. Am I into Don't Sleep records? I don't really know that. I'm not a huge fan of King Cruel. I know I have to listen to O Land. A reasonable price for the Samurai Champloo soundtrack. Man, it was everywhere for like 2 or 3 months not that long ago, and now it's all sold out again. I don't know. Get lucky on eBay, maybe. What's my favorite Pink Floyd album? I just talked about it. It's right behind me. It's here. It's Animals. And on that note, I think we're going to end the stream for today. Thank you guys for watching. This was awesome. If you're not subscribed to Too Many Records, I would implore you to do so. I have lots of good stuff coming out every week. I appreciate the support as always, and I hope there's more awesome stuff coming your way soon. So thank you guys for watching. Stay safe, and we'll do this again sooner than later.